Hello and welcome back to How About That Crypto, your home for crypto and Web3 news and updates. I am your host, Bitcoin Stylist, and today's news and updates are another big bank, another government, and another large corporation embrace crypto in meaningful ways. Yes, that's right. Does this sound like yesterday's news? Because it sure does to me. But stay till the end because I have some crypto news that's going to keep you weary, keep us weary. It keeps me weary of the current bull market. You do not want to miss this. Do not forget, this is not financial advice. Do not forget, this is not financial advice. You can use the links below. You can do your own research, make your own decisions. I'm going to share with you my feelings. Please like, subscribe, follow, leave a comment. It helps make sure that this content gets out to other people, and it works even better if you share it. So if you watched my episode yesterday, you probably have come to the conclusion that I see a lot of bullish indicators for crypto. To be more precise, I'm a long-term bull and a short-term bear. I want to get through the first quarter and see where we are. That said, I add money to the Bitcoin short ETF, BITI, BITI is the ticker symbol traded on the stock market. I then add a similar amount of money to the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, GBTC is the ticker, and that's traded on the over OTC markets. There is counterparty risk, as you probably know, based on my episodes on DCG, Genesis, Gemini, and Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Link in the description below. Check that out if you don't know what I'm talking about. But basically, we're waiting for a shoe to drop to find out what's going to happen. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust shares could go lower. Bitcoin, crypto could all crash. I mean, we don't really know. But when I do hear the news, like big banks, big financial firms, governments, and large corporations getting into crypto, it just reaffirms my conviction about crypto and Web3 being a part of our future moving forward. I believe that as these banks, money managers, funds, governments, and large corporations get more and more into crypto, the money that is going to pour in during the next bull run will make the last week of Bitcoin pump look like a drop in the bucket. That said, it is not all rosy in crypto by any means. We have to know how DCG, Genesis, and Gemini are going to work through things. We also need to hear the results of the SEC versus Ripple Labs lawsuit, which is going to determine whether Ripple was a commodity or a security. Based on that, the outcome of that lawsuit, we're going to know whether or not, like if, for example, if the SEC wins, then and the judge says, oh, Ripple was a security and it's still a security, that means that it's more like stock, which means it has to be regulated by the SEC, which means a bunch of coins could get delisted based on how the judge determined whether or not this was a security or not. Now, if it turns out that it was a security, now it's a commodity, that could be beneficial to the industry. And if they say it wasn't a security, it was always a commodity, then that would also be beneficial, at least in the short term for price. But so we don't know what's going to happen. And I think based on that lawsuit, the SEC is going to determine how they go after exchanges, because then they'll start evaluating all the coins on exchanges. And if they go to Coinbase and say, hey, these 12 coins based on the judicial precedent set forth in this lawsuit in question, then you are offering the sale of unregistered securities. You're in violation of the securities laws, Securities and Exchange Act, or something like that. But so that's gonna be really bad, because you're gonna see tons of crypto just like lose tons of liquidity, and you're gonna see tons of people running for the exits and trying to sell it. Okay, so that's what I think. I would like to see inflation abate for 3 to 6 months, and for interest rates to be stopped and maybe even reversed before I think we're in a bull market. Until this happens, I am wary of any price appreciation being what they call a bull trap, meaning all the people that think we're in a bull market, they start piling in and FOMOing in, and then the reality sets in and the market comes back, and you end up getting in and losing money. I'm also not going to risk being wrong, though, because I don't want to try to time the market. So I keep stacking sats and hedging my bets. So I am constantly directly buying Bitcoin, and I am also doing the little kind of trade that I was talking about. This is not financial advice. This is just what I'm doing. Okay, so today we have mostly good news and one piece at the end. Well, actually two pieces, because there's some breaking news now. And that's a sobering story on this drunken rally. So I'm going to share my article, and if you're listening on podcast, you can use the links below to follow along. Otherwise, just listen up because I'll keep you posted on everything. All right. So we got this article here by Jai Hamid and is on Cryptopolitan, and it is titled BNY Mellon Explores Digital Asset Custody Service for Asian Markets. I'm going to read a couple paragraphs here. BNY Mellon, the world's largest custodian bank, is exploring the possibility of offering digital asset custody services in Asia. The news has been met with enthusiasm by many in the crypto community as it indicates that a major financial institution is taking steps to legitimize and institutionalize cryptocurrency trading. Vince said that the business of digital assets is a new development area for the oldest bank in the United States. BNY Mellon was the first American bank to provide an internal custody service for digital assets when it did so 3 months ago. Having established a specialist unit for the business in 2021 and then launching the service 3 months later. Tokenization will result in an increase in the significance of protecting against malicious assaults. According to Vince, who is the CEO of BNY Mellon, BNY Mellon has made an investment in Fireblocks, a company that offers custody services for cryptocurrencies, and the two companies have collaborated on the development of technology on protecting digital assets. And then it goes on to say BNY Mellon CEO extremely bullish on crypto. Vince is an enthusiastic supporter of cryptocurrency. So you hear that, everybody? We got a CEO of the world's largest custodial bank in the world. I said world's largest in the world. That's redundant. Anyway, he's an enthusiastic supporter. That's amazing news. On January 13th, during an earnings call, the CEO said the investing in digital assets was the most profitable bet for the financial institutions in the long run. Vince went on to say that banks' refusal to acknowledge the expansion of crypto asset market was analogous to being a custodian in the 1960s and continuing to use paper ledgers rather than embracing computer technology. However, this would not be the case with his bank. So he's basically saying, like Larry David did in the Super Bowl commercial, basically it's comparing it to, like, some of the most crazy breakthroughs in time, like the fork and the wheel. In 2022, BNY Mellon was successful in getting authorization from the financial authorities in New York to accept Bitcoin and Ethereum deposits from a limited number of consumers. That's super dope. I think that's pretty self-explanatory why that's such a big deal. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Leave a comment below. Let me know. I'm moving on. All right. So this is by Helen Parts for Cointelegraph. The title of the article is SEC of Thailand issues crypto custody provider rules. The Thai securities regulator now requires crypto custodians to have a contingency plan in case of unforeseen events. I'm sure they're probably thinking about FTX. So let's look at this real quick. I gotta just relate a couple of things here. The Securities and Exchange Commission of Thailand is working to better protect cryptocurrency investors by introducing new rules for crypto custody services. On January 17th, the Thai SEC issued regulations requiring virtual asset service providers, or VASPs, to establish a digital wallet management system to guarantee efficient custody. The new rules target crypto custodians, or VASPs, that provide crypto storage services. The regulation include 3 major requirements, including the provision of policy and guidelines for overseeing the risk management of digital wallets and private keys. The rules require VASPs to communicate with regulators regarding such policies and provide action plans to ensure compliance. Additionally, the SEC requested crypto custodians provide policies and procedures for designing, developing, and managing digital wallets and keys. The authority will also require crypto custodians to establish a contingency plan in case of unforeseen events that may affect the wallet management system. I think this is really interesting because they're specifically talking about crypto storage services. So, I feel like that would apply to, like, MetaMask. Like, if you created MetaMask and you wanted and Thai people were using it, then you would probably have to, like, oversee risk management, because, like, your wallet holds your keys. So does that, and if you use MetaMask, does that mean MetaMask can be compromised? So they're saying that, like, I'm pretty sure these are third-party services as opposed to an app that's programmed a certain way. But like, if you're forced to do an update on something like MetaMask, that update could come with a little virus that enables like a backdoor to open. So anyway, I'm pretty sure they're talking about third parties, custodians like BNY Mellon wants to be a custodian. They want to store Fidelity. It wants you to store your crypto on their new platform where you can buy and sell crypto. Pretty sure it's just Bitcoin, Ethereum right now. But yes, they have a platform that they've launched to retail investors that essentially competes with Coinbase, but only on regulated cryptos, which right now is, I mean, really Bitcoin's dealing with a green light, and Ethereum is as close as it comes to having a green light other than Bitcoin. So let me know if you agree or disagree or have a different opinion or idea about this. Leave a comment below, and I am moving on. So check this out. McDonald's celebrates Lunar New Year in the metaverse in partnership with Karen X. Chang. And this is an article on investing.com, and it looks like it's originally from the Daily Coin. And it goes here. Let's see. The McDonald's Lunar Year collaboration includes innovative features that integrate culture and technology for an interactive user experience. The partnership with McDonald's is Chang's first brand partnership celebrating her Chinese American heritage. The campaign continues the Golden Arch commitment to celebrating culture and serving communities as the Year of a Rabbit commences. The article goes on to explain how McDonald's has a history of committing to serving different cultures. It says right here, a celebration of culture and technology. McDonald's has a history of celebrating culture and aiding communities via initiatives like youth development programs, community donations, and volunteer programs. It also talks about I think the really interesting thing here is this last paragraph here of this first part says, this collaboration offers a unique and interactive metaverse experience that enables users to engage with Lunar New Year festivities in new ways. It can potentially bridge the gap between tradition and technology. So you could check out the link below to see what it all is. It's just like, I think it's a big deal because it's mainland China where most crypto stuff is not legal. So I guess NFTs are. I think they did ease up on NFTs. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see the adoption, because guess what? All these NFTs and all these companies that are building it, they're building on public blockchains, which means that every time they set an NFT changes hands, they need to pay a validator to validate that transaction and log it on the blockchain and secure the network, which means that there's going to be transaction fees, which means that the value of the network that those things are sold on should go up according to Metcalfe's law, which means the coins on those networks should increase in value as long as they don't experience inflationary pressures from some sort of coin release or something like that. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. Congratulations, you made it to the end. All of this positive news is super exciting. Now let's temper things a little bit by pointing out some things that are indicative of the macro environment that we are in. All right, so this says, the title of this is Coinbase confirms it's halting operations in Japan. Customers have until February 16th to withdraw their fiat and crypto holdings from the exchange, by Jamie Crawley on CoinDesk. So the article talks about how Kraken also left. Apparently, I'll let you, why don't you listen to this really quick clip, and this guy will explain why multiple companies have left Japan.
I mean, Japan is a tough market, right? They've been historically very diligent in regulating crypto businesses. The cost of compliance is a bit higher there, is my understanding. So Japan remains a tough one for outside companies to enter and serve well. So I think that's sort of the story that I'm seeing here with Coinbase and Kraken, both, taking their ball and going home. But yeah, certainly, this speaks to the overall narrative of cuts, right? Whether it's headcount, whether it's business lines, this is what you're seeing, especially in the CeFi space, as they again contract relative to that rapid expansion that they had during the bull run. So this to me is still part of that bigger narrative. But also just Japan is a tricky market, I think.
So basically, he's saying Japan is expensive and tricky and heavy on the compliance, but Also, did you hear the part where he said that that this is basically just like, there's a ton of, tech layoffs, and now the banks are starting to lay people off. Are we really in a bull run? I don't know. Let's check out this other story. So let's see here. This is a Wall Street Journal article by Akiko Matsuda and Jody Zhu Klein, and it's titled "Crypto Lender Genesis is Preparing to File for Bankruptcy Within Days." And so this literally just released, and I'm almost not 100% sure that I'm like 99.9% sure that I reported on this exact headline. But maybe it was within weeks. I don't know. But I'm just going to read you a little bit here. Crypto lender Genesis Global Trading is preparing for filing for bankruptcy within days, according to people familiar with the matter. Genesis, owned by the crypto conglomerate Digital Currency Group, or DCG, is in the final stage of preparing paperwork before it files for Chapter 11 protection, said the people with knowledge of the matter. The crypto lender has been considering filing for bankruptcy for months, and the firm laid off 30% of its staff earlier this month to navigate unprecedented challenges, a company spokesperson said at that time. So if you remember from my previous episode, like within last week, I'll leave a description below, but like I did a deep dive into understanding what this whole Genesis situation and Gemini coming out publicly to like talk smack about Digital Currency Group and saying like we need the CEO, he's got to step down. There's been multiple counts of fraud. I don't know what's going to happen with this situation, but I'm watching it closely. So for me, this is like the sobering story. Like until this plays out, I don't see how I can have any confidence. Like I'm gonna keep buying Bitcoin because like it's the market's low, but I'm not gonna make any big moves right now. So I think it's interesting though, because Genesis is like fleecing retail investors through this legal wash, rinse, and repeat game that they had going on with 3 Years Capital, which is one of the biggest reasons why they're filing for bankruptcy. And if you don't remember, Genesis is a daughter company to Digital Currency Group, and it's also a sister company to the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and they own a ton of Grayscale Bitcoin stock. So what's going to happen if they file for bankruptcy? They might have to liquidate that stock, that they might have to sell. That could be tons of selling pressure on the stock itself, which will deepen the discount to its net asset value. Once this plays out, I think that the discount window could close relatively quickly. We might need to wait for a risk on environment before the discount window closes. But I mean, we're talking to like basically doubling the money. Like in order for the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust stock to be equivalent to the Bitcoin that they're holding in custody, then the stock would have to almost double in order to be equivalent to its underlying assets. So anyway, that's the news. That's my thought. I'm waiting on inflation to abate. I'm waiting for interest rates to stop going up, maybe even turn around. China reopening and producing at low cost and consuming dollars should help with inflation, but they're also going to be, they're a big importer of commodities, so that could also be inflationary. The reality is we have no idea. Bitcoin and crypto will perform. Like, we don't know how crypto and Bitcoin are going to perform in a high inflation type monetary and recessionary environment, because crypto was not around in any of those situations. It's always been loose money, monetary expansion, economic expansion. And so we don't really know how this is all going to play out, but crypto is like kind of growing up here and maturing because it's going through a new market cycle. So to look back on the history of crypto and Bitcoin and say, oh, it's going to happen like this because it happened in the past, I think is extremely short-sighted, because that's ignoring the fact that the entire macro environment has changed. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's all up from here, but until then, let me know what y'all are doing. Leave a comment below. Have a good day. And for the meantime, I'm going to go long crypto. You can check the description for my favorite coins. This is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I like. And I'm also going to tell you, I'm going to hold on for dear life. Hodl on.